communicator, silver, content leader, Gan Leong Hong is an accountant by training. He is currently working in a property development company in the area of finance and accounts. He has been a Toastmaster with DU Utama Toastmaster Club for many years and also hosts DU membership in Metropolitan Bilingual Toastmaster Club. I will now set the scene for this project. Toastmaster Gan is required to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech of goodwill for Toastmasters International. His speech should consist of information on the subject of public speaking, such as tips on how to prepare, conquer jittery nerves, a discussion of a historic making speech, or show how good communication is important in business and in the community. Toastmaster Gan should limit direct references to Toastmasters to the introduction given by the TME. His opening, conclusion, and casual comments during the speech. He is expected to build his audience goodwill towards Toastmasters by supplying useful information and demonstrating good speaking skills. For his speech, Toastmasters Gan requested that the audience, i.e. all you, assume the role as final year students on XYZ University who are attending a one-day seminar to prepare you for the work life after graduation. Toastmaster Gan is one presenter on the subject of public speaking.
Good evening, fellow young adults. How are you today? Great. Okay. Well, actually, as you know, weather has been bad. I am having some sore throat, but I wouldn't give up any opportunity to come to address you, young adults, on such an important occasion. Now, my name is Gan Leong Hong, as the MC has just introduced me. I am a Toastmaster. I'm from two clubs, the Utama Toastmasters Club and Metropolitan Bilingual Toastmasters Club. And tonight, I'm here to share my experience as a public speaker with all of you. Now, in about 2 months' time, all of you will be going into the workforce. And I'm sure some of you would have already secured a job offer. Some may be still looking, but with the current economy booming and there are plenty of jobs around, I'm sure in no time you will get your dream job. So as a fresher, as a freshie in the job market, of course, technical know-how is very important. That's what you are trained for in this university. Your lecturers have prepared you well. And what else do you need to be successful in the work life? Of course, technical know-how is also very important. You must know who are the important people in your company, and you must make sure you must also know who are the people that you can learn from and take them as your mentor. But above all, there's one skill which throughout your 20 years of education in Malaysia, at least, you are not prepared for. The Malaysian education system sadly does not prepare you to, or does not expose you to be a communicator. You are just learning the technical stuff, but you are never given the chance to learn how to be a communicator. And here's where I hope with my sharing tonight, you can be a little bit more equipped. Needless to say, I'm sure all of you agree with me that speaking is very important, right? How many of you have experienced speaking in front of public, maybe in your class presentation or something like that? How many of you? Can I have a show of hands? Wow, quite a number of you. How do you feel when you first went out there and address and do a presentation to your classmates? How do you feel, or to your lecturer? Very panic, nervous, right? Believe me, that is normal. Even experienced speakers, they have the same panicky feeling when they go up on stage. And one thing you must know, public speaking is not just addressing a crowd like so many of you here. When you speak to a stranger one-to-one, that is also public speaking, because you are addressing someone that you have met for the first time. And many of us, I assure you, will feel nervous, right? Especially if you are speaking to the opposite sex. So, here are some tips how you could overcome this nervousness. To begin with, if you are prepared, then half your job is done. And of course, before you speak, take a deep breath. Relax yourself so that you calm yourself down. Then we come to the preparation part. And of course, that depends on what occasion you are in. For example, if you are doing a class presentation, which in future, it won't be a class presentation where you will have a very supportive classmates, you will have very supportive lecturers. In your job environment, you will be doing a presenter to your boss, your customers. Boy, that can be very nerve-wracking. So before you go for that presentation, make sure you prepare your stuff. Now, when you carve out your speech, remember the ABCs of speeches. What is ABC? ABC stands for A, attention grabber. That is your opening. Okay. You must make sure your opening has the attention grabber, so that all the audience are attracted to your speech and waiting to hear what you have to present. The B stands for body of the speech. In your body of the speech, you make sure you have all the stuff that you want to present, and make sure it's well researched, well supported, and talk sense. As the saying goes, you can lie, you can fool somebody some of the time. You can fool somebody all the time, but you cannot fool everybody every time, right? So make sure you have the stuff to support your stuff. And of course, the C for your conclusion. Now, conclusion is very important. You must make sure that you deliver your message across. For example, how many of you have heard the speech called "I Have a Dream" by Martin Luther King? Oh, quite a number of you. You see, today's youngsters are so well exposed. In my time, I don't know who is Martin Luther King. But you see how powerful his speech is, right? His opening, "I have a dream." Straight away, attention grabber. And then he supported his stuff. His body of the speech is talking all about the freedom, the right, the human rights. And he concluded by delivering the message. So this is the very simple step that you can take home. As I can see, time is quite limited for me tonight, so I can't share everything that I know with you. But rest be assured, communication skill, public speaking skill can be learned. And you don't have to pay a hefty sum to attend a seminar by your lecturer, your communication lecturer. All you have to do is to look for a Toastmasters club near you and continue to practice. Okay? And I hope with my sharing, you will be better equipped in your job.
Waiting there for his evaluator to come up and feedback. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmasters Johnson Yates.
Good evening, future leaders. You are about to embark on an exciting journey, and that you are about to graduate in a year's time. The fellow speaker that came before you shared to you the importance of public speaking. And perhaps I would like to share with you what I felt on the way he presented. Personally, I felt that he warmed up to the audience very well when he started off with a casual question. How are you feeling today? The weather isn't too good, isn't it? Maybe it's Jonathan's fault. But nevertheless, it broke the ice with the people, and you warmed up to him. He started on to say that he's a Toastmaster member, a very casual statement. I'm a Toastmaster member of 2 clubs. Didn't dwell too much into it, and he went on to explain the importance of communication. Now, one of the things that this particular speech, the goodwill speech, calls for is to entice us to bring home a message, not so much to convince us, but to look intrigued in us as to why something is important. And in this case, this speech calls for him to draw attention to Toastmasters and communication. Gan, I felt the way that you presented was a very warm sharing. You did not force us into believing anything. You did not force us to bring home anything. For the fact that you shared it in a very simple manner, that it is to engage us to wonder what we're going to do with our future. Especially when you challenge us, how many of us are presenters? How many of us presented before? But that is okay because we are in a university environment and we are among peers. But when you move out into the real world, man, it's going to be harsh. And you've got to be ready for your bosses. So we moved on with the speech very well, and I felt that the audience were all very engaging to you and you were very enticed to you. Perhaps I'd like to share with you what I felt about the presentation as a whole. In terms of the content, I felt it was fantastic. But in terms of your mannerism, I felt that you were pacing back and forth a bit too much. And there was a special sway to your movement. When you walk over here, then you sway back. And when you came over here, you also sway back. It's like I come close, it's a cha-cha kind of dance. So perhaps you'd like to take note of that. And I felt, for example, in a speech like this, when you want to engage us to be communicators, while body language, you had that in mind. You engage us with eye contact, you engage us with your movements. I felt more energy would have been appropriate. For the fact you stated in your introduction, you are one of the speakers. If I imagine myself to be the last speaker of the day, I said, oh my God, another guy coming up. You need to engage them with more energy. So overall, I felt, in terms of the content-wise, I believe you built that intrigue in us. But in the case of being a fantastic communicator, I believe the controlling of your movements and more energy will definitely spruce us up to find out what is Toastmasters about. So with that, Gan, I take my leave and pass the control back to the General Evaluator.
And the moment when you are dealing with young adult, you need to straight away grab the attention right at the beginning of the speech. Like straight away ask them, who is fearful of public speaking? The moment you are able to engage at first, then it will be much easier for your job later on. So that is just one. Overall, I find your speech very impressive. Thank you again for such a job well done.